Is this thing on? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Q, here again with another YouTube vlog. This time it's going to be all about running shoes. We're going to be talking about the Nike Vaporfly 4%. The new models just come out earlier this month, the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. But we are going to be talking about where the shoes actually came from. So going back to the end of towards the end of 2015, Nike developed a prototype that was based off the Airstreak 3 midsole, but it was much thicker, and they embedded a carbon fiber plate that went through from the heel to the forefoot of the shoe. I've got a pair of those shoes, so this is what the video is going to be about. It's taking you from that journey back towards the end of 2015 through to where we are now and the various models that have come about since. Nike are already killing it at this stage in the running market with the Vaporfly. We're seeing some phenomenal performances being run by people. If you remember last year, Eliud Kipchoge, that amazing 2:01:39 which he ran in Berlin, he ran that in the Vaporfly Elite. And I'm going to go on record and say that the Vaporfly Next Percent, which we have now, is basically a Vaporfly Elite version 3. When Kipchoge broke that world record, the midsole that was on his shoes at the time is exactly the same midsole that we're seeing in the Vaporfly Next Percent right now. The only difference, of course, Eliud had that Flyknit upper, which we saw on the Flyknit Vaporfly 4%. It's now become the Vapor Weave, the new technology that Nike has brought, that is now on the Vaporfly Next Percent upper. And we saw Eliud win London earlier this year in that shoe, 2:02:37, if I'm not mistaken. Nike are really killing it at the moment, not just from the front of the field and the elite runners, but social runners now as well, really buying into this hype. Don't know if it's a mind thing, I don't know what it is, but a lot of people saying that they are running huge personal bests, PRs, if you're from the States. In South Africa, we say personal best, PBs. But not only are they running a lot faster, but they're feeling a lot fresher. That Zoom X with the pop of that carbon fiber plates in really does a magic. But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling right now. Let's get into this vlog and let's see the journey the Vaporfly Nike shoe has taken. Take it away. So the first shoe we look at is the Nike Vaporfly Prototype version 1. It was based off the Airstreak 3 model. As you can see, that very thick midsole with the carbon fiber plate embedded in between the shoe. It had a Streak LT upper. This was first spotted towards the end of 2015. In February, Galen Rupp won the US Olympic trials with the shoe, as well as Amy Cragg and Shalane Flanagan in the women's race. Eliud Kipchoge won London Marathon 2016 in these shoes, and a lot of people speculated at the time if they were running in training shoes because that midsole was so thick with that Zoom X and obviously the carbon fiber plate that was embedded in it. But this was the start of the magic that we now see in the Nike Vaporfly. Moving over to Rio, 2016 Olympic colorway with that pink going through to the yellow in the front. As you saw on the tongue there, it actually said Mayfly. This was an Airstreak 6 upper. That was the Olympic colorway for Rio, but this was one of very few pairs actually amongst the prototypes that actually had Mayfly written on the tongue. A lot of the other prototypes actually had Airstreak 6 written on the tongue, but as you can see, still not much change. It still had that Airstreak 3 midsole, that very thick Zoom X midsole. You can see that springiness in it with that pop of the Zoom X foam and the carbon fiber plates installed in it. And coincidentally, in the Olympic marathon, the first 3 men across the line wore this prototype. The rest of the Nike athletes that finished behind them were just in the normal Nike Airstreak 6. Then after breaking 2, we saw the Nike Vaporfly 4% as it came out, the consumer version. Although a lot of the elite athletes were still using this, there were only few athletes like Eliud Kipchoge, Desisa and Tadesse who had the Vaporfly Elite. You can see that pointy heel at the back, which has now become synonymous with the Nike Vaporfly 4%. Nike said that it reduced drag and added in a little bit of aerodynamics there. You could see the midsole completely different, the 4 little diamonds at the back. If you had 5 diamonds at the back, Then you would have the Nike Zoom Fly, which was a takedown version of the Vaporfly, but you can still see there that poppiness of the Zoom X foam. Very, very soft shoe. The upper was very, very lightweight as well. And these things were really hard to get. Some of the shoes selling for excess of $1,000 on eBay. The update of the Nike Vaporfly 4% came in the version of the Flyknit Vaporfly. The upper on this shoe was exactly the same as the upper on the Nike Vaporfly Elite, the shoe that Eliud Kipchoge was running in. The midsole still stayed the same, those 4 diamond cubes at the back, but to me this shoe was a lot more stable than the first version of the Nike Vaporfly 4%. Just the way it sat on top of the foot. I felt that on the first version my foot was kind of moving around a lot, and I just felt that this Flyknit version was a lot more stable on the foot and held it more supportively. Then the Nike Zoom X Vaporfly Next Percent, as I like to say, aka the Vaporfly Elite. Literally exactly the same midsole as what Kipchoge has been using. In terms of the difference between this and the Vaporfly 4%, there was 15% more Zoom X foam under the foot, and funny enough that the shoe still weighed lighter than the 4%, but you can see totally different outsole there on the midsole with that very, very big point at the back. This shoe is very, very stable compared to both editions of the Vaporfly 4%. So I think a lot more social runners would love this shoe. It's got that same point as the Vaporfly Elite, and these are the shoes that Eliud Kipchoge won the London Marathon in earlier this year, that 2:02:37 if I'm not mistaken, and a whole onslaught of a Vaporfly Next that filled in the top 10. So yeah, that's basically the journey that the Vaporfly has come along since 2015 up until where we are now with that Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Where's it going to go from here? Only time will tell, but I can tell you, watch what Eliud Kipchoge wears on his feet come October this year when he attempts that sub 2 hour marathon challenge, the Ineos 159 challenge. And perhaps next year we'll find another update of where we are now with that Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. But I mean, where does it stop? Nike are just killing it now with this running shoe. It's literally like nothing you've ever tried before. If you don't have a pair, it's well worth the price, trust me. Not only will your legs thank you, but the PBs will forever go down in history. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please click like down below. Click subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. There's going to be a lot of vlogs coming up. I'm starting a new series which will be called 0 to 90. It's my journey from, as you can see, I'm not that fit at the moment. I put a lot of weight on after we had our first child earlier this year in January. So it's literally going from 0 to 90, with 90 being 90 kilometers. Obviously the Comrades Ultra Marathon next year in June, that's what I'll be training for. So stay tuned for a whole host of videos. It won't just be about myself running, but there'll also be some interviews with some of the elite athletes, some tips and tricks. And yeah, please, if you've got any questions, make a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them.